Roguelike games have always been extremely popular in the gaming industry. Above all, I mean the legendary The Binding of Isaac and Spelunky. But their time has already come to an end. Modern time requires a modern look of games. So I present to you my personal choice of 5 action roguelike games with the most beautiful graphics on the market that you can play at the moment. Welcome to HD Play. My name is Ivy and you're watching my list of action roguelike games with the best graphics. I haven't had the chance to personally try the original Risk of Rain, but when I encountered the sequel, I instantly fell in love with it. I spent hours and hours trying again and again to unlock new weapons, equipment, and characters. Even then, in the early access phase, the game was fantastic, but the experience was somewhat spoiled by game-breaking bugs. Today, in 2020, after several major updates, the game looks better than ever. Developers from Hoopu Games have put a ton of effort over the past year to make Risk of Rain 2 better than ever, with regular monthly and bi-monthly major updates. They added new characters, items, maps, bosses, overhauled the skills completely, added hidden realms, artifacts, and etc. Thus further improving the game and making it phenomenal. In addition to playing in solo mode, you can play in co-op with 3 other friends online, which gives the game a whole new charm. Risk of Rain 2 gets a 10 out of 10 rating from HD Play in 2020. Back in 2017, I really wanted to play a sci-fi game in space that would be similar to Freelancer and Rebel Galaxy, which I had already tasted a long time ago. Then Everspace appeared, with a completely unique RPG roguelike system that wasn't my piece of cake at first. I couldn't perceive at the time that I had to play it all over again from the beginning when someone destroyed my ship. However, that detail actually worked and was the driving force because I came back every time with better equipment, better ship, and of course, the acquired knowledge, which led me to play Everspace for days. 3 years later, in 2020, Everspace looks way better. And not only that, but the developers from the German Rockfish Games have meanwhile released a DLC called Encounters that adds missions, new ship, and an overhaul system, so that now the game looks much more interesting and better than the vanilla version. Let me just add that a lot of work is already being done on the sequel, Everspace 2, which will be much bigger with a larger selection of ships, weapons, and in addition to its space exploration, this time you will be able to fight battles within the planets themselves. Everspace will receive an 8 out of 10 rating from HD Play in 2020. A real mini masterpiece waited patiently in my Steam library for a long time before it got discovered. I don't even remember if I bought the game myself or got it from a publisher as a test copy, but then I wasn't at all attracted to the comic style, which I was never a big fan of, to be honest. When all the games I was playing at the time lost their charm, I decided to give Void Bastards a chance and check out why it has a very positive rating on Steam Store. What greeted me literally blew my mind. A beautiful, simple graphic done in a 3D environment with 2D characters like in a comic book. You, as a misfit prisoner, travel in your Void Ark ship through the Sargasso Nebula system, from one spaceship to another, browsing through anything and everything in order to make new weapons and items, which from the very start seemed fun. It's amazing that the developers have managed to put so much humor and fun into such a seemingly simple roguelike, in this case more roguelite, game. The game is powered by a Unity engine that is so masterfully coded that while I was playing, I thought it was actually a unique engine made for it. Having in mind that the game came out almost a year ago, I will not pay too much attention to details, because you must have looked and read hundreds of reviews. But only in the name of HD Play, I will give it a rating of 9 out of 10 as a sure shot if you're a fan of action roguelike games. Although many will disagree, Immortal Redneck was a real refreshment for me, because I used to be a big fan of Quake and the original Doom. The game has a very similar style, fast performance, and atmosphere. Even some enemies reminded me a lot of those from the previously mentioned games. Lots of fun dialogues and a system of progress that don't deviate much from the standard roguelike games, which are play, die, upgrade, play, die, become even stronger, etc. Although the graphics themselves do not dominate the game, it is nice enough to be on our list. And you, if you have not had the opportunity to play it, be sure to try it out. You have all of my recommendations. Immortal Redneck received a score of 7 out of 10 from HD Play. When I was writing the list for this part of action roguelike games, I was deciding between this game and the VR title Until You Fall. But since I haven't played Until You Fall long enough, I thought it wouldn't be fair to give it a rating in a very short time I spent in the game. Mothergunship, on the other hand, is an extremely fast first-person shooter roguelike action, which, in my opinion, is its biggest flop. Things happen so fast, from simple movement to the shooting, that I was worried about getting a seizure at one point, which is also a big disclaimer for those who wish to play this game. The main and best feature of the game is making customized weapons from items you collect or get in the crafting zone. From how you will shoot enemies and in what way depends only on your creativity, which I really liked. The levels are more and more challenging as you progress, from one ship to another, where in the end you're always waiting for a boss, who sometimes can be extremely difficult, and sometimes you can one-shot him with a well-crafted weapon. If you like super fast and dynamic games, then Mothergunship is the game for you, which also supports online co-op. The rating from HD Play is 6 out of 10. This was just the first part of my personal list of the best action roguelike and roguelite games you can currently play in 2020. Expect more top lists like this one soon, in which, in addition to other roguelike titles, I will cover all those genres that I personally like to play. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe. Until next time, bye!